The Shining is within a game, a journey of symmetry that its hero Danny practices and masters. It is a game of consciousness and awareness. He discovers how to navigate each path, whether right or left, by deciphering emergent patterns. The film begins with earthly, mirrored symmetry and ends with a devolved human staring at us from the inner world of a photo, frozen in the flash of a camera, a ghostly realm of dead souls. The Shining is both sequel and prequel to 2001: A Space Odyssey, a suggestion that time is both linear and a continuum. The two films are linked. 2001 ends where The Shining begins. From Thus Spake Zarathustra to Dies Irae. Dave Bowman, as the Star Child, stares at us in 2001's final shot, gazing at Earth from beyond. The Shining opens with a similar perspective, gazing upon a lake. Consciousness rises in 2001, while it descends throughout The Shining. Kubrick cleverly links the two films conceptually by presenting mirrors. For example, he shows us the underlit boy image within different posters. In The Shining's poster, Danny appears trapped behind a yellow wall, behind light. The large first letter T becomes a portal, rich in meaning. The T shape connects to mazes and the Mayanak window, a logoglyph symbolizing wind, breath, and spirit. These windows, like those in Palenque's Temple of the Sun, align with solstice and equinox light, serving as daily initiations. The T is also a right angle, a component of the film's storytelling, much like a plus or mass sign in math. The poster itself mirrors the red, bleeding elevator glyph, an image heavily discussed in Kubrick's trailer. Notice how the elevator's half-circle floor indicators mirror the shape of Danny's eyes. Kubrick underscores this connection by ending the elevator trailer with the poster itself, tying these elements together. In color theory, red is a concentrated form of yellow. The poster contains more subtle anomalies. Only two letters are lowercase, the I's. Their dots resemble eyes in the logo, staring directly at you. A semiotician might see this as a breakdown of meaning. Text is the final encryption, a form of pattern making as a European means of control. These lowercase i's serve as a subtle suggestion of observation, of something watching. The Star Child transforms into Danny, who now exists in the opposite state, trapped, reacting negatively to his view of Earth and rendered incorporeal. He is on the verge of ghosting, a transformation the hotel enacts in parallel through Jack's descent. The Shining is a film meant to be watched both forwards and backwards. The human mind may even find ways of playing it backwards subconsciously. Kubrick uses subtle tricks to toy with memory and perception. There are several reasons why watching it backwards is a viable viewing order. First, the film begins with what looks like end credits, blue turquoise-filled Helvetica type rising, as if the film is concluding. This is unusual for Kubrick, who never uses rising end credits, but it recalls the upward motion of paper in a typewriter. Seen in reverse, the opening shot could just as easily be the ending, a wide, serene view of mountains and water, forming a state of eye bliss, almost a perfect vision of Native American harmony. Another example is in how Wendy reads Jack's typed book backwards in the forward-viewing film. She starts with the page in the typewriter, then moves upward through the stack. The entire film is structured in reflections, where scenes mirror each other. For example, Danny and Wendy's campfire meal is mirrored at both the beginning and end. Kubrick stages confrontations as if the characters are backing up. Reversed, Wendy with the baseball bat appears to coax Jack back to himself. Similarly, Danny backs away from his father in the snowy maze, tricking him. Even the film's horror is scarier backwards. Kubrick diffuses traditional horror shocks by placing the scariest imagery at the tail of each scene, reducing impact. But played in reverse, these scenes amplify their shock value, creating a more conventional horror experience. The film is also constructed through a series of zooms and tracking shots, movements that draw attention more to the scenery and spatial motion than to plot. And then there's the ending. The final scene places us in the past, in a flash of photographic light. Played backwards, the film becomes a story of liberation, a man breaking free from the spectral grip of history. Jack, trapped in the 2D world of a black and white photo, is unfrozen and lured out of a maze, his wife and son helping him to undouble himself, reclaiming his identity. In the end, he drives away from the Overlook, leaving the lunar landscape of this surreal summit behind and returning to the Earth. A landscape of mountains reflects in a nearly still lake. What seems still for a split second is actually in motion. We're flying over it at high speed. An island, centered at first, moves to the left. In the Navajo origin legend, it said he had gotten through to the upper world and came out on a little island in the center of a lake. Viewed in reverse, we're leaving this world, entering a plane of perfect symmetry. As the camera focuses, the mountain forms an arrowhead shape in the mirrored lake. In a film scattered with Native American and European-derived visuals, rugs, wall hangings, furniture, Kubrick immediately points to a geologic source for these forms and colors. They're echoed in the lobby's floor, the Colorado lounge walls, and beyond. Kubrick suggests that when a culture's spirituality derives its colors and forms from the land itself, like these arrows seen here in the Navajo-inspired patterns, it's infused with powers beyond the visible. Do these forms have an endpoint, or do they continue transforming beyond our sight? Looking down, the view is an overlook. The single arrowhead form we just panned to is now multiplied, made of trees pointing upward. A yellow VW beetle journeys through this forest, followed by an unseen spirit. The beetle is symmetric. From a distance, it appears as though it could be moving forward or backward along the double yellow line. Its color and form disguise the strangely fitting name, beetle. At this height, we are inhumanly scaled, seeing the beetle as bug-sized, mimicking the perspective Jack later adopts as he gazes at his family within the maze, or the scale Danny uses when playing with his toy cars. Kubrick offers us the most ambitious point of view in the film here. Tony's, Danny's shining spirit, who we will meet in 2 scenes. Tony, whose image appears in the film's poster as the Star Child, a link directly to Dave Bowman from 2001: A Space Odyssey. The mountain is the destination of this road, a physical dead end, but also a metaphysical doorway. The road and car repeatedly move toward the center of the frame. As they pass the timberline and enter a lunar-like landscape, the titles begin to rise. They mimic end credits, reversing convention to assert that the film is being shown backward. The camera swoops over the beetle to align with the prey's horizon. The beetle, framed on the right, passes the camera, mirroring the island passing left earlier, offering a split second of perfect balance. This moment aligns the film's perspective to the beetle's horizon, a vantage point the film will maintain once inside the Overlook, grounded on the plane of the hotel floor. The audio merges tonal opposites, a blend of church-like organ and native battle cry chants. The cries synchronize with the organ's repeating notes, creating an auditory duality. The hue of the titles is turquoise, a shade distinct from the blue of the sky, referencing Native American mythology, where turquoise represents a connection between earth and sky. The dominance of blue in North American native cosmology cannot be overstated. Kubrick merges film convention, cosmology, and visual symbolism, blending East-West iconography into a visual incantation scored to dualistic, warlike music. The turquoise titles visually echo the lake's reflection of the sky at the film's start. This Earth-Lake-Sky connection evolves as a transmutational exchange, initially a reflection, then coded into the symbols and movements of the film. Blues of the underworld meet the upper world, first mirrored in the opening lake and then repeated in the Overlook's geometric patterns. The titles enforce oppositions. Blue and yellow, sky and car, divider line and credits. Yellow, symbolic of the sun in Western iconography, contrasts with the turquoise titles. The yellow VW Beetle, paired with sun flares from the road, embodies the name of the road and the film itself, a visual conjuring. The sun flares transition into the Overlook's underworld portals, eventually shifting to blood red, flowing from the left like the sun's concentrated light. Kubrick uses lens flares intentionally, choosing uncoated lenses to keep us acutely aware of the sun's presence in a film named after the sun's power. Yet he never films the sun directly. Instead, he showcases it as refracted images, broken into optical ghosts. In one shot, the doubled suns above the J in the title are not random distortions but precise prisms, capturing the sun's image through a camera obscura effect. In this masterpiece sequence, Kubrick's most subdued pairing involves a yellow sun refracting through a hexagonal aperture over the road. This imagery recurs later, restaged as a yellow ball, toy cars, and a hexagonal carpet pattern outside room 237. The Beetle finally arrives at the Overlook, dwarfed by the mountain's peak. The hotel roof doesn't reach the sky, but remains claimed by the Earth, camouflaged to appear untouched. The Overlook becomes the film's first ghost, disappearing into the landscape, a vanishing act mirrored by its absorption of the Beetle's yellow hue, which is visually doubled in the parking lot. This yellow color carries through the film, reappearing as a tennis ball that rolls to Danny and off-screen to Jack. A deleted scene where Ullman hands Danny a tennis ball would have closed this visual loop even tighter. The yellow of the two-lane road's lines re-emerges in the Overlook, painted into the hotel's design during a key scene. Yellow's symbolism extends to gold, fusing sun worship with mythical valuation. It reflects humanity's confusion, worshipping the rare, radiant metal rather than its true origin, knowledge. At the center of the Overlook lies its Gold Ballroom, the heart of the hotel, and a reflection of this misplaced reverence.